Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight for an hour and a half of news from the length and breadth of the nation. Tonight it is a case of roads to progress as the Federal Executive Council approves the completion of some strategic roads. Women are strategizing to achieve greater relevance in Nigerian politics as 2023 general elections draw closer. Legislations on health and security dominate debate in the two chambers of the National Assembly. The fight against banditry is on. We'll get updates from Katsina. Communities donate land for agri-estates as farmers in Kano get some support. And in Edo State, the gates of the ministries were shut today. Only COVID-19 vaccination card granted entrance. We have these and other reports on empowerment, community development, and specials on the creativity and resiliences of Nigerians. I am Fatima Umaruba, and this is News Extra. You're welcome. The Federal Executive Council has approved more than 38.2 billion naira for the completion of strategic roads infrastructure projects in parts of the country for enhanced socio-economic development. Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola announced this while briefing journalists after the meeting of the council. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports that 10.7 million naira has also been approved for the completion of an irrigation project in Sokoto State.
3 memoranda were presented to the Council by the Ministry of Works and Housing seeking approval for the completion of strategic roads projects inherited from the past administrations. Amongst others, the memos relate to cost revision as a result of the ages of the various contracts as well as the prices of goods that have now changed. One of them, the 10-year contract for 13.5-kilometer spur of roads from Onitsha-Owerri Road through Okija, Ihembusi, Afo-Ukpo to Ezinifite in Inewi South local government area of Anambra State, now reviewed by 488.9 million naira.
The second one is the 20-kilometer dualization of Yenegua Road Junction to Kulu, to Utuke, and to Bayelsa Palm in Bayelsa State. That contract was awarded in December 2014 on the eve of the tenure of the last administration. It is one of the contracts that we have since reactivated with the Sukuk, but there are some additional works that need to be done that support a revision of the contract by 7.947 billion.
Also approved for revision of the contract sum is a 74-kilometer Nasarawa local road project awarded in 2006 but yet to be completed.
This road links the local Weto Bridge, which we inherited and which we have completed. And that local Weto Bridge links Nasarawa to Benue across the river Benue, and also connects to the Oweto to Oshogbedo Road, which we also inherited, which we have completed. So the complete link from Otukpo to Nasarawa ought to be facilitated by this 74-kilometer road. The contractor has struggled with just about 5 kilometers of it since 2006.
30 billion naira is now to be expended towards the completion of the project shared amongst 3 contractors.
What is instructive is that once we finish this last part of the road, cuts off 3 hours from the journey from Utukpo to Abuja. And this is strategic also for providing prosperity, lifting people out of poverty.
Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu also secured a 10.7 million naira augmentation approval for the completion of the second phase of the Middle Rima Valley Irrigation Project in Goranyo, Sokoto State.
By the time it's completely finished, we're getting hopefully to get a production of 39,000 tons of rice, 195,000 tons of vegetables per annum, and it will generate employment for nothing less than 47,000 people and their families.
The project, with a total scope of 4,333 hectares, is part of those prioritized for completion by the Federal Ministry of Water Resources out of the 116 ongoing and abandoned projects inherited by the Buhari presidency. Meanwhile, Information and Culture Minister Lai Muhammad used the opportunity to give an update on the ongoing talks between the federal government and Twitter over the suspension of its services in Nigeria.
The exchanges have been going on, but we need to dot the I's and also cross the T's. But I can assure Nigerians that we're not mindful of the anxiety of Nigerians, and both parties, are working very hard to put a closure on the matter.
The indefinite suspension of Twitter was effected in Nigeria by the federal government on the 4th of June this year. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, 3 new national commissioners have been sworn in to fill existing vacancies in the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. President Muhammadu Buhari performed the ceremony before presiding over the weekly meeting of the Federal Executive Council. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
The 3 INEC national commissioners were amongst the 6 Nigerians of unquestionable integrity nominated by President Muhammadu Buhari and confirmed by the Senate after a thorough screening exercise. They are Dr. Baba Bila from Yobe State to represent the Northeast Zone, Professor Abdullahi Abduzuru from Kebbi State for the Northwest Zone, and Professor Sani Muhammad Adam, SAN, from Plateau State to represent the North Central Zone. Founded in 1998 and backed by the 1999 Constitution as amended, INEC has a mission to serve as an independent and effective electoral management body committed to the conduct of free, fair, and credible elections. This is to sustain the nation's democracy and indeed the desired democratic culture. The new national commissioners are not unaware of the high expectations of Nigerians on the commission and therefore promise to live above board in discharging their responsibilities.
We thank God for this opportunity to serve our people, and we want to assure Nigerians that we'll be very honest and sincere in our activities to ensure that all elections we will conduct will be fair, free, and credible.
It's a privilege to be chosen among millions. We intend to work diligently to fulfill the objective of the president to deliver free and fair elections. And we are here to assist the chairman to achieve these laudable objectives, to add value to what the wonderful job that he has been doing. And we hope to maintain that course by the grace of God.
I believe we'll take the electoral system to greater heights by the grace of God. We'll support the chairman so that we deliver to Nigerians an excellent electoral results.
So now that you have the near full complement of your team, what can you assure Nigerians going forward?
Well, we want to assure Nigerians that we'll continue to do our best conscientiously, and to continue to improve the transparency and credibility of elections in Nigeria. The new commissioners that have just been sworn in are bringing with them accumulated intellectual and administrative experience, and I'm confident that they will add value to our work.
The 3 remaining INEC national commissioners will be sworn in at a later date. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, just like an excited father receiving the latest set of family members, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu gives the best of warmth reception to the newly sworn-in national commissioners at INEC headquarters. But beyond the reception lies the expectations from them by the chairman. Mayor Ogidi was at the ceremony devoid of pre-election anxieties.
The tenures of Amina Bala Zakari and 5 others ended November 2020, leaving the second topmost seats empty for 10 months. 3 out of the 6 now back to activity, being occupied by 2 professors, 1 doctor. Nice having you on board, but the terrain is quite sensitive the INEC chairman told his latest lieutenants.
As election managers, we must be strict in the application of the law, firm in handling the public trust bestowed on us, and fair in our dealings with political parties and candidates.
That for the national commissioners. Sehidu Ahmed, also a new man, just sworn in as the resident electoral commissioner for Zamfara State. Issues of ceremonies off the table. Time to discuss the maiden outing of the bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS in the Soko State constituency by-election in Delta State. The INEC chairman was pleased with the pilot, but not all the BVAS machines were lucky to tell the experience.
Thirdly, there was the age-old problem of thuggery during elections. Our officials were attacked and 5 BVAS devices were snatched by hoodlums.
Here, Mahmoud, not in a good mood, sad one, but will be a sweet one in the Anambra November 6 governorship polls, the INEC boss promised. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress Caretaker Committee has inaugurated its World Congress's appeal committees to reconcile aggrieved party members after the local government congresses held on 4th of September 2021. The party's National Secretary, John James Akpan Udoedehe, says the Caretaker Committee is determined to leave a united Progressives family. Salih Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
The All Progressives Congress Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee says members of the party's local government congresses appeals committees have an important role of building peace amongst party faithful. The Governor Memala Buni-led Caretaker Committee reiterated its resolve to bequeath an APC that is better, united and more accommodating, hence the strategic steps for a national reconciliation of its foot soldiers.
Our party members should not forget that this is a family affair. So as you go forth to your various states of assignment, you must ensure that fair hearing and justice be a guiding principle.
The committee maintained its stance that disciplinary action awaits party members who ignore its internal peace-building mechanism and take disputes beyond the party. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress Legacy Awareness and Campaign, a voluntary think tank group of the party, has commended the federal government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement, the group's national coordinators, Salihu Muhammad Lukman, Director General APC Governors Forum, and Ismail Ahmed, National Youth Leader APC Caretaker Committee, highlight the role of the Economic Sustainability Committee, chaired by the Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo, as fast-tracking Nigeria's exit from the COVID-19-induced recession and as a contributor to the robust 5.1% economic growth recorded in Q2 in 2021. This is in addition to the Poverty Reduction Growth Strategy Implementation Committee, also chaired by the Vice President, to contribute to the federal government's vision of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty within a decade. The APC Legacy Group also notes the approval of the establishment of a 500 billion naira COVID-19 Crisis Intervention Fund dedicated to various programs ranging from health infrastructure upgrades to national public works programs, approving a series of Central Bank of Nigeria stimulus interventions, which has seen disbursement of more than 400 billion naira to over 600,000 beneficiaries. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
For the Nigerian woman, no retreat, no surrender in the quest for more inclusion. Achieving this is not a man's journey, neither only for women. So time to seek for more supporters. The Federal Ministry of Women Affairs is the main driver. The National Democratic Institute is the latest body the women have found support for an accelerated passage of the gender-sensitive reform bill. Ngozi Silva Technicute tells us the content of the partnership.
Getting the support and commitment of high-level influencers in the legislative and judicial sectors over the quick passage of the gender-sensitive constitutional bill informed this gathering, as explained by the Minister of Women Affairs.
This is an uphill task, but I know with God, and I can see the chairman of Speakers of Conference in Nigeria is raising his thumb, assuring us that it is possible. With the men and the emirs gathered here today, I strongly believe that God will use you to make history in this country.
The National Assembly is the appropriate quarter that can confer that legitimacy to women participation in politics in Nigeria. The bill is as good as passed. If you see the number of co-sponsors, you know that it is a very popular bill.
This has long been a settled position for me as the Speaker of House of Representatives. It remains only to determine the specific actions and interventions that will allow us to achieve equal rights and opportunities for Nigerian women.
With about 2/3 majority of the Senate and House of Representative members, as well as 24 out of 36 state houses of assembly to the bill will scale through as key players affirm their support.
The Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures in Nigeria hereby adds its voice to this novel cause.
You must persist and demonstrate lobbying to ensure that the gap in our present electoral reforms of women non-recognition are all solved.
When finally assented to by the President, the bill will enable women exceed the present 8 out of 109 in the Senate, 13 out of 360 in the House of Representatives, among other strategic positions. Ngozi Silva Technical, NTA News.
Girl power. That's a slogan the Nigerian Navy is trying to promote by encouraging girls to join the armed forces, especially those from so-called less developed states. Defense correspondent Najat Tijani tells us more.
This year, the Navy is highlighting the importance of girl-child education in addition to the theme, which is enhancing maritime security for national prosperity. And the Chief of the Naval Staff says girl-child education is one of the keys to enhancing national prosperity.
It is hoped that this forum will facilitate the needed discourse towards identifying viable concepts and constructive collaborative action plans that will support this strategic level initiative.
The girls from different schools in Kano State have been brought to participate in this conference so as to understand what their quota can be, what their contribution can be to national security, and also encourage them to join the armed forces of Nigeria. And I'm here with some students of the Army Day Secondary School here in Kano. On my right is Deborah. How are you, Deborah?
I'm fine.
So can you tell me if you're able to join the Nigerian military from what you've seen so far?
Yes, I would love to join it. If it is what I'm saying as it is now, I would love to join the Nigerian military. We need to make sure that we need to empower more youths to enter into the forces to help to secure our country, and it will help.
Thank you very much, Deborah. And now on my left, I have Hafsat. Hafsat, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, are you a science or art student?
I'm a science student.
And what would you like to be?
I would like to be a medical doctor, inshallah.
So, do you think you can do this as a soldier, joining the Nigerian Navy?
Sure, yes, I can do it. I really love their uniform. Their uniform is very, the way they are, if you see them, you know that they know how to do their job. So I would love to join them.
So I've been talking with Hafsat and Deborah of the Army Day Secondary School here in Kano, and they've been talking about their attraction to the Nigerian military and what they think they will be able to contribute, considering that girl-child education is an important aspect of the military. I'm Najat Tijani, NTA News.
Oh, thank you so much, Naja. More than 100 women in Lagos State who were victims of gender-based violence have benefited from free delivery kits donated by a non-governmental organization, Women Helping Hand Initiative, the brainchild of the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Dolapo Oshimbajo. Kendi Adibisi reports.
At 15, Elizabeth Tunde was working at a canteen where a man with a promise of marriage lured her to bed. Now she's pregnant and left alone to take care of herself and her unborn child. As she said, the man is nowhere to be found. Her story is not different from that of 18-year-old Abiola Razak, who has been battered and shattered by domestic violence.
Went in the twinkling of an eye, I got pregnant. So I told him, so he denied it that he was not the one that gave me pregnant. So I did not even tell my mom. So later she found out. So she was not happy with it.
Today, Saka has come the way of the young girls and other women as they have been found, counseled, and rehabilitated by the Women Helping Hand Initiative.
We know that many of them actually come into the shelter, just the clothes on their back. The financial strain is there, coupled with the other violence, trafficking, abuse that they may have gone through. So the need to actually help prevent maternal depression is so high.
This gesture is the organization's way of reassuring the girls and women that they're not alone.
Most of them are helpless, as we all know, in these situations, and most especially regarding funds to get this kind of thing. So most of the time, concerned mothers provide them with listening ears, encouragement on how to stand during these trying times.
Delivery packs, dignity kit, and information guide on family planning were presented to the beneficiaries. Established by the wife of the Vice President, Dolapo Oshimbajo, in 2006, the NGO has explored similar initiatives to promote advocacy against rape and other gender-based violence. In Lagos, Kendi Adibisi, NTA News.
The infrastructural development in the southeast, particularly the second Niger Bridge by President Muhammadu Buhari, has continued to attract encomiums from within and outside the zone. The latest is the accolades by Prince Arthur Eze during a private visit to the president Tuesday night at the presidential villa, Abuja. The businessman urged Nigerians to always preach peace as against hate and draw lessons from countries suffering the effect of war. Prince Eze pledged loyalty and commitment to the unity and peace of Nigeria, urging President Buhari to stay focused and not be distracted by agitations for separatism rocking some parts of the country. He also commended the president on the successes recorded in the northeast, where Boko Haram fighters are surrendering in droves, urging more efforts in the northwest against bandits and other criminals. Prince Eze counseled governments to give more opportunities to local outfits like the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Corporation to print election ballot papers, sensitive security documents, certificates, local, state and federal government revenue and treasury receipts, passports and others, since it has the capacity to do so. President Buhari thanked Prince Eze for visiting and for his good wishes for the country and government at all times. And Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Bas Mustafa, has given a thumbs up to plans by the Nasarawa State Government to build an ultra-modern mass transit terminal to decongest gridlock along the Abuja Cafe Expressway. This formed part of discussions when he received Governor Abdullahi Saleh in Abuja. Mitari Peng reports.
Nasarawa State is a strategic partner with the federal government because it plays host to the majority of public servants who work in Abuja but live in the suburbs of the contiguous state.
The moment you leave FCT entering Nasarawa, between that border to Masaka, there are about 23 motor parks. So what we did is we are now building one big mega bus terminal that will contain all those motor parks. Part of the reason for the heavy traffic you have along the way is because of all those mini motor parks. So by the time we now concentrate, so we're building a terminal that will take about 900 vehicles. That way all of them will be in one side, and they will now reduce the traffic.
Receiving briefing from Governor Sule on current happenings in Nasarawa State, the SGF boss Mustafa says the proposed mass transit terminal will address both transportation and security issues along the Abuja-Kefi axis.
Not only to decongest the highway, but it's also a very, very important instrument of control, especially when it comes to issues of security. And that is what happens all over the world. There is a measure of control of how people move around, especially in this prevailing situation of a lot of security challenges that we're confronting the nation.
The SGF described the security challenges facing the nation as an international phenomenon that is not peculiar to Nigeria. He expressed optimism that the synergy between Nasarawa State and the federal government will help the security agencies to prevent fleeing bandits from taking refuge in Nasarawa State. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The foreign and domestic loan structure of the federal government is tailored towards infrastructural and human capital development. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola stated this while on inspection of road construction and rehabilitation exercise along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Abolade Salami reports.
The road construction work had commenced on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway from Berger to Shagam interchange through Ogere to Ibadan by the federal government is at the completion stage as motorists now ply the route without fear of potholes on the reconstructed lanes. To ensure contractors maintain standard and stick to date of completion, Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola, who commenced inspection from Old Ibadan Toll Gate, expressed satisfaction with the level of work, with a charge on contractors to avoid any delay on completion.
So the contractor is working from this RCC section 2 from Shagamu to Ojo, which is about 44 kilometers to kilometer 127, and they are now heading towards kilometer 109. So that's how to measure progress, and everything is almost done. We are mandated by the president that this road must be finished next year, so we should be out of here next year.
The situation where public works are destroyed by road users, the minister frowns with reference to the destroyed section of Ajebo Flyover Bridge along the expressway. While emphasizing the importance of the Lagos-Ibadan Road project to the government, the Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun joined the minister to inspect the interchange and bridge construction at the Lotto corridor of the road.
If these sukuk bonds will not happen immediately, the state government is willing to go and borrow against that promise so that we can facilitate the contractor. So that way the contractor can hit the ground running while the sukuk bond that comes in and offsets that loan.
The Works and Housing Minister reiterated the resolve of the federal government to deliver the entire stretch of the road by 2022 and appealed to motorists to apply caution and obey all road signs during and after the road is fully completed. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
The presidency has appealed to the Nigerian media to focus on core issues as President Buhari goes to the meeting of the United Nations General Assembly. In a statement, the presidency says it is shocking to read the Yoruba nation advocates throwing their lot in with the indigenous people of Biafra and using the UN General Assembly platform to draw attention to its cause. According to the statement, IPOB has been designated a terrorist group with a known 50,000-strong paramilitary organization that is involved in violent attacks on national security agents and innocent Nigerians. The statement advises the Yoruba nation advocates to be mindful of the company it keeps, as it will be judged by such company. According to the statement, the presidency promises that government will continue to work at the UN to enhance international cooperation in the fight against corruption and illicit financial flows, global terrorism, especially threats emanating from the Sahel. The statement says the presidency expects the media to work with government to focus attention on the core issues the president has on his program. at the General Assembly. Let's take our first break on the news. When we return, an update on the offensive on banditry in Katsina, plus a national strategy on cybersecurity. Welcome back. Senate has commenced legislative activities in the chamber with the passage of 3 bills seeking to establish health institutions. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko reports that this is part of Senate's commitment towards strengthening Nigeria's health sector.
Those against any, the ayes have it.
It was the second plenary after their recess, but the first for legislative activities. It was a day for the health sector. Legislative interventions crystallized into the passage of health institutions establishment bills.
Report of the Committee on Health.
The Federal University of Medical and Environmental Sciences in Ekiti State Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, finally passed. It seeks to promote teaching and research in medical and environmental sciences. Federal University Lafayette Teaching Hospital Establishment Bill to ensure delivery of advanced health care services, sponsored by Senator Umaru Tanko Almakura, and the University Teaching Hospitals Reconstitution of Board Bill.
For the purposes of advancing learning and higher education in the field of medicine and environmental sciences. Congratulations, and let me, on behalf of all of us, commend the chairman and members of the Committee on Health for doing a great deal of job for us. Mr. Chairman, well done and keep it up.
The Federal College of Education Kayama Kwara State Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Sadiq Omar, and the Legal Aid Council Act Amendment Bill by Senator Emmanuel Oke Jeff, passed second reading.
To encourage the advancement of learning to all persons without distinction of race, creed, sex, or political conviction.
So that by the time the students finish secondary school, they should be able to undertake or to have some technical skills which they can use for various jobs.
The customary courts and the Sharia courts are sidelined, and litigants from such courts are denied representation, citing insufficient funding as the excuse.
Senate paid tribute to 4 prominent Nigerians who died recently: Ahmed Joda from Adamawa State, Victor Owaefo, Edo State, General Detunji Olorin from Ogun State, and Emir of Katangara, Saidu Namaskar. Jaribe Agom Jaribe has been sworn in as Senator representing Cross River North Senatorial District. He replaces Stephen Ode, who was removed by the COF. Senate has adjourned to Tuesday, the 21st of September 2021 from the National Assembly. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the 9th House has kick-started the 2021-2022 legislative session with a strong message to miscreants that have imposed on Nigerians a state of unending carnage. The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, says this is the time for action by doing the hard things to stop them from taking the nation down the path of destruction. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali has that.
It was the first formal address by the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, after the annual recess, a chunk of which dwelt on the myriads of security challenges across the country. Old and emerging threats like bandits, insurgents, miscreants and criminals, masquerading as separationist activists, he says, must be tackled in their misadventure against Nigeria and Nigerians.
Let it be apparent to those who have made themselves enemies of Nigeria that this 9th House of Representatives will respond to the audacity of their evil with every tool and resource at our disposal, and we will not be deterred.
Bills on national security, he added, will be prioritized. The address appeared to have set the stage for action as 3 motions on insecurity in Plateau, Sokoto and Oyo State were raised and adopted.
A matter of urgent public importance regarding to the incessant and barbaric killings in Plateau State that claimed the life of so many citizens of Nigerians.
This very important motion on the need to urgently stem the tide of spiraling insecurity and killings, and also to avert further humanitarian crisis in both Engard and Geshun Trita Federal Constituency.
Investigate the brutal murder at Igaga, Igbora, Ayete, Chapa,
in the Barakpa area of Oyo State by men of Nigerian Customs Service.
A motion seeking assistance to parts of Jigawa State experiencing flood and cholera outbreak from Representative Abubakar Fulata and another from Representative Ogenego urging extension of the Apapa Port rail line to Tinkan and Ijegun were adopted.
Since the first week of July 2021, there have been heavy rainfall that have resulted in ravaging floods and cholera outbreak which have affected Krikasama, Guri, and Bernier Federal Constituency of Jigawa State.
If a railway line could link Apapa Port to Ijegu Port through Tika Port, it will create an alternative route of transporting petroleum products, containers, and various goods, thereby decongesting the roads to save the country billions of naira and also cause less damage to our roads.
Plenary featured the administration of oath on a new House member, Ahmed Munir, representing Liri Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. 3 presidential communications transmitting to the House the Small Arms and Light Weapons Control Bill, the Explosives Regulation Bill, and the External Borrowing Plan for 2018 to 2021 were brought to the attention of House members during plenary. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And following the launch of the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy on 23rd February 2021 by President Muhammadu Buhari and the ongoing drive for implementation and mainstreaming across sectors, the Office of the National Security Advisor is organizing multi-stakeholder sensitization workshops for different sectors. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa covered the media sensitization for the defense and security sector in Abuja.
Cyberspace, the 5th domain after land, sea, air and space, has continued to evolve, supporting information and communication technology. This internet-driven transformation evidently enhances commerce, communication, security and other socioeconomic activities globally.
In 2020, losses due to BEC amount to about $1.8 billion. And Nigerian cyber criminals are the major players in this area.
Despite its huge benefit, there are challenges as criminals infiltrate the domain, committing crimes ranging from fraud and terrorism, necessitating the launching of the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy.
Based on this, Mr. President directed the Office of the National Security Advisor, in accordance with his mandate, to coordinate the efforts of all stakeholders across the various sectors of the Nigerian economy towards effective implementation of the action plans outlined in the document.
This sensitization is to also highlight to the stakeholders that they have responsibility within the strategy. You need to check those responsibilities and know how you are going to fuse it into the day-to-day activities you are doing.
This event, therefore, is aimed at sensitizing stakeholders in the defense and security sector to enhance the implementation and mainstreaming of the policy across board. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Let's head to Katsina now, where in what appeared to be a complementary measure in the fight against banditry, the Katsina state government has directed the immediate closure of non-official motor parks operating across the state. Dauda Mohammed, who monitored the level of compliance within the state capital, reports that residents expressed support for the measure.
The Katsina state government, as part of its proactive measures to checkmate activities of bandits and other criminal elements, ordered for the immediate closure of all illegal motor parks, especially those operating by the roadsides and major junctions, directing travelers to only use designated and approved motor parks.
These measures are necessary if you really want to bring this into an end. In fact, if these measures were taken, believe me, this wouldn't have lasted 2 months.
This measure has been commended by residents of the state capital.
Whatever the state government will do to check insecurity, we will support it. If this measure will bring an end to security challenges, we welcome it.
To check the level of compliance, NTA News crew monitored some of the popular roadside motor parks and observed a high level of adherence to the new directive, though with pockets of non-compliance.
I am not happy because our customers have deserted us.
Most of the people that are breaking this law, most of them, they are not members of NURTW. They are on their own.
Meanwhile, The weekly market at Cherenchi local government area has also been suspended indefinitely in compliance with the security challenges containment order. The market, which is normally a beehive of activities, is now mostly deserted.
Though this Cherenchi market is far from the areas with security challenges, we still support the decision to close the market.
Special advisor to the Katsina State government on security, Ahmed Ibrahim Katsina, described the containment order as very necessary in checkmating activities of criminal elements in the state.
These measures are just temporary. They are aimed at bringing back peace and security into those communities.
Since the new directive came to effect, very few cases of attacks on communities have been reported. In Katsina, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Kaduna State Police Command has launched a search operation for the rescue of Emir of Bungudu, Alhaji Hassan Attahiru, and other travelers abducted along Abuja-Kaduna Highway on Tuesday. Haruna Mohammed has that.
Kaduna-Abuja Highway has for some time now been safe until Tuesday attack on travelers by suspected gunmen who kidnapped the Emir of Bungudu, Zamfara State, along with yet to be ascertained number of persons. Spokesperson for the Kaduna State Police Command, ASP Muhammad Jalige, says security operatives were dispatched to restore normalcy, but an officer paid the supreme price.
The Commissioner of Police, Kaduna State Police Command, has ordered for immediate deployment of more police personnel comprising of Operation Puff Adder 1 and 2, mobile police and other conventional police officers to go into the bush and make sure the kidnapped victims are rescued unhurt.
He calls on motorists plying the road not to be deterred by the setback, as the command is rejigging the security deployment to strengthen the existing structure aimed at forestalling reoccurrence. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The Christian Association of Nigeria and other church leaders have thrown their weight behind the federal government's strategy of introducing vaccination in churches on Sundays. This is part of efforts to meet the target of second phase vaccine rollout. Olushe Adiagbo reports.
Barely a month into the commencement of the second phase of the COVID-19 vaccination rollout in Nigeria, updates from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency shows that over 4 million people have been vaccinated with the first dose, as almost 2 million people have taken the 2 doses of the vaccine. While development partners are commending government of Nigeria over the data, Ministry of Health and the agency driving the nationwide vaccination exercise say the fight against misinformation, misconception, and fake news about vaccines is still central. This engagement with Christian leaders from across the Federation is on sensitizing them on the myth and facts about the COVID-19 vaccine.
I want to task Your Eminence, distinguished Christian leaders, to be role models to your followers and encourage them to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
From this phase 2 of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout, we have introduced Sunday vaccination. This is to ensure members of the Christian community who may not have had access to the vaccine for whatever reason are given the opportunity to be vaccinated at their worship places.
Government has gotten our response, what people are saying, the challenges people are having. And so if they can bring it to places of worship, wonderful. And when they bring it to the place of worship, it doesn't mean that people will now be compelled that they must be vaccinated. No, you still have a choice.
We welcome the development. We believe that is the way to go. We encourage Christians everywhere to get vaccinated.
With support from church leaders to introduce the vaccination at church services, it is expected that the mobilization efforts of the government will yield positive results. In Abuja, Oluseye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Let's take another breather. In the next segment of the news, Town and Gown meets to boost farmers in Kano. Plus, a 4-year youth employment plan has been launched. Find out what it entails right after this time out. Please stay. SARS investors gain 24.9 billion naira in the stock market. Details on business news with Musa Abubakar. Musa, let's talk business.
Thank you, Fatima. Sequel to the Finance Minister's approval of financial regulation, the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, has inaugurated an interministerial committee to review the financial regulations. Speaking at the inauguration, the Accountant General of the Federation said it became imperative to carry out the review as the current financial regulations, which came into effect in 2009, is no longer relevant and useful in driving the public financial management reforms of the government. Idris, while reaffirming that the review underscored government's efforts at entrenching probity, accountability and transparency in the management of the public financial resources, urged the committee to consult widely and come up with financial regulations that will stand the test of time. The review is meant to bring the financial regulations up to date with current realities and best practices. Now to stocks, the equities market closed Wednesday trading session in positive territory, advancing by 0.12% to see the all-share index close at 38,968.34 points and market capitalization at 20.3 trillion naira. 141 million shares valued at 2.9 billion naira swap hands in 3,079 deals. The financial services industry dominated the activity chart with Universal Insurance PLC, Zenith Bank and United Capital PLC. That's business news. It's back to you, Fatima.
Oh, thank you so much, Musa, for that. Now, the All Progressives Congress says borrowings by the Buhari administration is for the good of the country, as the funds are used to develop critical infrastructure that is stimulating economic growth, generating jobs, reducing poverty, and improving the general well-being of the citizenry. The report.
The All Progressives Congress says borrowings by the federal government is for the good of the country, as the funds are used to develop critical infrastructure that is stimulating economic growth, generating jobs, reducing poverty, and improving the general well-being of the citizenry. A statement by the Secretary of the APC Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, Senator James Akpan Udoede. The borrowings are designed to finance the deficit in the 2021 budget to enable the realization of the Nigerian Economic Sustainability Plan that touches key sectors such as infrastructure development, boosting healthcare services, strengthening agriculture to deepen food security, more energy generation, and continued tackling of the ravaging COVID-19 global pandemic. Senator James Akpan Udoede says it is abundantly clear that the borrowing is hinged on genuine needs and based on the necessity to strengthen the foundation of the national economy and achieve the desired primary purpose of government, which is uplifting the living standard of the citizens. The National Secretary of the CEPC says in a welcome and commendable change by the federal government through its economic management skills, build our states to pay salary backlogs and embark on large-scale infrastructure development that stimulated the economy and exited the era of insolvency and recession. Senator James Akpan Udoede ended the submission by stating that the APC welcomes the continued and multi-partisan cooperation which exists between the executive and the legislature on national issues. This will ensure good governance, particularly in the area of economic development. The country and the citizens are the ultimate beneficiaries.
Now, scratch my back, I scratch yours is a popular saying that usually implies that a favor done to someone is reciprocal, and this exactly is what happened at Agbeyangi farming community in Kwara State. The community donated 100 hectares of land to the federal government, while the government in return is to establish farm estate for them. Let's join Musa Baba Aliyu for details of this symbiotic relationship.
Agbeyangi is a rural community located in Ilorin East local government area of Kwara State, north central Nigeria. The community is endowed with arable land suitable for cultivation of varieties of agricultural produce and livestock breeding.
This town is not a town that is making trouble. We are always in peace in this country, in this
What is lacking in the community is the modern farming techniques that will improve their yield and create more wealth for the people. The rural community will very soon be a major food production area with the establishment of farm estates in the area by the federal government.
Is blessed to be one of the communities that will host the integrated farm estate of Narada. What this means is that there will not be any unemployed person from this community, as this project is purely community-based. The desire of Mr. President is for us to achieve food security and reduce unemployment.
100 hectares of land have been provided by the people, while the National Agricultural Land Development Authority under the presidency has cleared the land for the farm estate project.
We've been doing a lot of community engagement to ensure that land is made available across the state, in the north, in Kayama, in Barutin, in Ifelodun, and here in Agbeyegi community in Iloni East.
The farm estate, when established, will be the biggest that will include cultivation of yam, cassava and maize. Also, a portion of the land will be for goat, rabbit and grass cutter rearing, processing and packaging. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Interesting. Low productivity in crop production occasioned by poor yield is one of the frustrating challenges farmers are beset with, sometimes forcing them to give up on farming. Serious as the problem looks, poor seed varieties used by the farmers is identified as a major cause, and the federal government is on top of the challenge in collaboration with research institutes. Awal Salisu reports from Kano.
Statistics shows that about 60% of farmers in the semi-arid zone are still using local variety of seeds, which results in low yields from their farm units. To address this problem, many research institutes in Nigeria have keyed into production of improved varieties of seeds that are early maturing, drought resistant and high value yielding. This Farmers Field Day in Kano State, which attracted many farmers from different communities, witnessed display of new variety of pearl millet under cultivation at a demonstration farm for them to ascertain the value additions associated with it. Malama Maria, one of the farmers who adopted the new variety, says it has no doubt enhanced her profitability, enabling her to cater for her family, especially paying the fees of her son that is studying medicine.
From the time we were introduced to this new variety, I have benefited so much so that I am able to sponsor my son to study medicine in the university.
Other farmers applaud the effort of government at all levels to ensure food sufficiency in Nigeria.
Farming is no longer for eating at home alone, because now when you farm for 100,000 naira, you can get 1 million naira.
Millet is the most nutritious food among all the cereal. It has high iron and zinc, it has higher protein and some other minerals, and it has fiber.
Maria and her like says the initiative has changed their understanding of the efficacy of the rice seeds variety. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
In the next part of the news broadcast, Edo State government enforces no vaccination card. Thanks so much for staying on News Extra. Stallion Caretaker Limited has signed a memorandum of understanding with Lakpo Microfinance Bank that will enable the introduction, distribution and funding of the purchase of the new Bajaj RE250 tricycles to Nigerians at an affordable cost. The signing ceremony held in Benin City, Edo State, was witnessed by relevant stakeholders. Good luck, Enaini has the details.
That was signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, which formally brings Stallion Caretaker Limited and Lapo Microfinance Bank together as business partners. The partnership will enable Nigerians leverage on Lapo's microcredit disbursement capabilities to own the brand new Bajaj RE250, well known for its durability, speed, and manufacturability.
Lapo has around 538 branches across Nigeria, and this gives us a leverage and the benefit of covering the entire nation, reach the the person at the farthest corner of the country who needs our help, and support in the upbringing, as well as the the support in the empowerment.
It's a very big opportunity for us. It is a very big opportunity for a lot of people who are striving for jobs and they want to earn their own livelihood and bread and butter. So this gives them a ray of light wherein if they want to get a keke and they are not able to get it because of financing.
We have other initiatives, like we have workshop on wheels, then we have trained technicians. We are training people to how to handle this keke.
Tolapo, the partnership with SAKL underscores an alignment of a common vision of social and economic empowerment through the provision of easy platforms for economic growth.
Give opportunity for us to have more clients purchasing the tricycles. If they are not able to fund it, that the clients are not able to fund it directly, LAPO gives that opportunity for the clients to fund it.
The new Bajaj RE250 has a high-powered engine, resistant CV shaft, fortified front fork, a double shock absorbers, and 10 inches tire. In Benin, good luck in NTA News.
When you visit the ancient town of Daura in Katsina State and seize the opportunity to look through the historical lens, you will not only hear about the amazing heroic stories of legends who made the community famous centuries ago, but will also relish recognizable relics that have connection with the past and the present. Hamza Musa Makarfi, who was there recently, tells us all about it.
Several hundreds of years ago, I am following the footsteps of the legendary Bayajida. And by the way, this door is still a masterpiece made from pieces of iron that is still standing today. Come with me. Welcome into Old Daura town. My mission is in tandem with an anonymous saying that it is better to see something once than to hear about it 1,000 times. In the midst of guides to the famous Daura landmark Kusugu Well, while you quench your thirst, it was not as easy several centuries ago until Bayajida killed the snake which denied access. At the royal palace of Daurama, who married Bayajida following heroic feat, ornate architectural designs dating back in time leave you mesmerized about how it was achieved. There are other artifacts to see, smell, and touch. On a typical day, you may have the opportunity to see the royal horses, among them made to be the oldest and a turtle kept many decades ago. As you go round, a unique ambience of royalty permeates. The 60th Emir, Umar Faruk Umar, is out to meet the people. He receives homage from traditional council members, and on this day, briefing on development issues regarding the welfare of his people. I am a friend of the masses. I'm also their servant and confidant. We are following up with religious harmony in this emirate. Our people are living in peace and harmony. The city has many gates, each named after legends of Daura town. If you are a lover of local Frad and no delicacy, Daura town will always give you the best, and surely a taste is convincing to make you come back again. From Daura, Hamza Musa Makarfi, NTA News.
With what I've just seen, Daura is a must visit for me. Nigerians have been enjoined not to lose hope in the socio-economic and political development in spite of the challenges currently bedeviling the country. This was the thrust of the message at the official flag of nominations and entries for the Nigeria Prize for Leadership 2021. Correspondent Austin Ayebe witnessed the flag off in Abuja.
Nigeria is no doubt the largest country in Africa, blessed with diverse natural and human resources. Since 1960, when the country gained her political independence, tremendous successes have been recorded within the socio-economic and political space, notwithstanding the civil war and other lingering problems arising from agitations by different ethnic nationalities which try to undermine the nation's progress. All these some elites see as lack of purposeful leadership over the years.
Leaders must have a vision and the drive to move people to achieve what we've set to achieve. And beyond all that, there must be character that you are trustworthy.
It is the quest to address the leadership problem that informed the initiative of the Nigerian Prize for Leadership, geared towards recognizing genuine leaders who have vision, creativity, wisdom, and talent to deliver good governance to the people.
You cannot fight corruption, you cannot fight poverty, unless you get your economy right.
We also want to ensure that those we are passing the baton to, they know what is expected of them.
The leadership starts from the home. And it is from the home that we build leaders that will lead communities, societies, and nationhood.
The project is already paying off as the younger ones groomed through the MPL Ambassadorial Program are optimistic about the future of Nigeria, with the official flag off for the prize and call for application for second edition of NPL Ambassadors Leadership Program. The 2021 Nigerian Prize for Leadership will be announced on 12th December 2021. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
In another development, Coalition of Societies for the Right of the Older Persons in Nigeria says the commitment shown to the welfare of the elderly by President Muhammadu Buhari has set him miles ahead of others. At the first National General Assembly to elect new leaders, the society is optimistic that subsequent administrations will build on the already existing legacy. David Irie reports.
Since inception of the coalition 6 years ago, the target has been to get the government more involved in the welfare of the elderly. The present administration has not only secured the necessary laws for their operation, it has also set up the Senior Citizen Center to cater for their well-being. The president of the coalition, who is re-elected alongside other officials, wants other elderly persons to key into their activities in order to be beneficiaries of the various policies and programs of government.
Our advocacy is not only for the ones in the cities, our advocacy is for those in the rural areas. That's why we're looking at primary and secondary health for them. That's why we're looking at health insurance for all. That's why we're advocating, for geriatric care for all.
The way you treat the elderly, that is what will further inspire those who are coming, the youth and the younger generation, to know that when they are old, people will also give them due regard and they'll be able to contribute their quota.
The Senior Citizen Center pledged partnership with the coalition towards addressing their needs.
We need to support the Director General as a team here, support her so that she can be able to do her work.
The newly elected national executive officers were inaugurated for a tenure of 3 years. In Abuja, David Irie, NTA News.
Workers in Edo State were today stranded as government began the enforcement of the No Card, No Access to Large Gatherings directive. Elizabeth Omoko reports that all entrance to state government facilities were in the early hours of Wednesday shut down against the workers who are in default of the order.
It was a large number of workers without proof of vaccination at the government house gates and the state secretariat as at 7 o'clock this Wednesday. While many complained that there was no circular to that effect, some say they have health challenges, hence they cannot take the vaccine.
To bring circular out yesterday, said effect of today without this card, no entry. I'm just coming to office now. They say without card I should go home.
I want collect. I reached there. They test my temperature. They say I get VP. I go home. Why they can't force me now?
It's not benefiting the government to chase away all this population from working. Who are those going to work for the government?
Mr. Chris Osagi, former special advisor to the Governor of Media and Communication Strategy, is one of the workers in government house that was also refused entry for leaving his card at home.
If an officer of government had to go back home to get a card and comes late to work today, I'm sure
their directors are going to give them waivers.
Or advising people to get vaccinated so that they don't get killed by the coronavirus.
There is no doubt that the work output for today will be low. But like they say, health is wealth. This is why the state government is concerned about its citizens. Who wants every adult to take the vaccination seriously. From Government House, Elizabeth Amako, NTA News.
It is estimated that about 40 million Algerians still defecate in the open. That's part of the Executive Order 009 signed by the President to tackle the problem. How effective is this law on the FCT residents? On this report, Safia Nama Uche takes a look at open defecation in the FCT amidst the cholera outbreak.
Imagine being pressed outside your workplace. The first thought is to visit any nearby hotel, bank or restaurant because there is a ban on open defecation. And if caught, the director Abuja Environmental Protection Board, Hassan Abubakar, says the penalty can be stiffer.
Open defecation in FCT is totally banned. It's not allowed. So if you defecate outside, we have our enforcement team within the city. You get arrested, and then we'll bring you to court. And you either pay fine or you go to jail.
Although they will not talk to NTA News on camera, some managers of hotels, banks and restaurants say they are complying with the directive despite rising security concerns.
It is not a healthy lifestyle, knowing fully well that as of today in the Nigerian system, that we have this cholera outbreak, which is really affecting everybody. Someone who manages the public and who has a public outlet like this, you cannot, in fact, it is not possible for you to stop people from coming in to help themselves, ease themselves or defecate, that is using your convenience.
The most popular form of public convenience in area councils of FCT is called Gidawanka, where interested members of the public pay a token to use. Although the facility is not modern, it serves residents.
One is only bath 20 naira, toilet 30 naira. Both of them bath, you toilet 50 naira.
It's not possible when you're pressed and you're already on your way out or something, you're pressed somewhere and you want to use a public or an office or a hotel. It's not possible for you to use the restroom if you're not working there or if you're not the staff there.
Director AEPB emphasized that if residents care for their environment, the result is a healthier city. Many people are, however, calling on government to provide public conveniences at strategic places, as this will reduce the use of bushes as alternative. The outcome, they argue, will result in a dignified and healthier capital city. Safia Noma Uchi, NTA News.
And there will be sports and other reports to round off News Extra nicely in our conclusion.